Hello everyone, welcome to the When It Worked podcast. You're with the host Julian Lee. Today I'm joined by Francie, Jain and Lisa Gibson. Welcome to the show, guests.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah,
all right, I heard somebody say, are we okay with the heads? But we're talking about resizing the video and getting everything perfect. But we're just going to go with what we've got, I think. Francie, let's load up the board. The categories today are What's Up Doc, J-words, astrology, birds and cooking terms. You're on the left. You can kick things off. The wonderful Francie Jain.
Okay, Francie. Okay, since my last name is Jain, I'll go with J-words for 100.
J-words for 100. Various sources say it's named for one of Popeye's pals or for initials of general purpose GP. And it's a J-word. GP. General purpose. Why is it J? I don't get it. Various sources say it's named for one of Popeye's pals. So Popeye, you remember the old Popeye?
Sure, Popeye the cartoon.
Yeah, and the spinach and all that. And he had
olive oil
with his girlfriend. There was a bad guy called Brutus.
Oh yeah.
And then he had a guy, the chubby guy that would eat cheeseburgers all the time. I don't know. I'm lost. What do you reckon? Should we have a look at the answer?
Yeah.
Jeep. So, okay, the original army Jeeps were called general purpose vehicles, and then they shortened it to Jeep because instead of GP. Pretty obscure, but maybe if you're in the army, you might have known that one. Francie, what would you like? You're still in control.
I'll try J-words for 200. Keep going.
J-words for 200. In 1975, it was the Bee Gees' way of talking. Well, it wasn't really. They kind of stole it from somebody else. And it's a J-word. It's a type of talking in the 70s.
Jive.
Jive is
J-I-V.
correct. Well done, Francie.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I think it's a bit rich claiming the Bee Gees invented jive talk.
I think
Definitely this is an older Jeopardy episode. Continuing on, Francie.
Okay, can I do J-words for 300?
J-words for 300. If you shut up your mug, I'll fill up this with good old Mountain Dew. Must be an old ad or something. I don't know. Let's take a look.
I mean, the only thing I can think, I don't think it was juice. I don't know. I don't even know if that would be.
Oh, it's jug. If you shut up your mug, I'll fill up this. I'll fill up your jug with old Mountain Dew. I think it must be an old ad. This one, I think this is an 80s. I try to make them not time specific, but this one slipped through. Let's continue on.
Okay, still me? Not Lisa?
You're still in control until Lisa gets one. You can holler out anytime. You can jump in, yeah.
I've been so polite. I've been my polite Canadian.
You've been just biting your tongue this whole time.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, what's up, Doc, for 100?
What's up, Doc, for 100? Direction you want to be when meeting a skunk.
Away.
Yeah, or specifically...
Not facing the skunk.
Not facing backwards.
Well,
not downwind.
Yeah, where we go. Wind was the one I was looking for, yes. Not upwind. Well done, Francie. What would you like?
Okay. How about what's up, Doc, for 200?
What's up, Doc, for 200? Your early training. Now, this might be now to do with medical training. And what do you do before you do your medical training?
Residency?
Sorry, Lisa?
Medical school?
Residency?
Yeah.
Oh, I said medical school.
There's another word for it.
Internship?
In the United States specifically, I'm doing... I think, I'm just guessing. I don't even know what the answer is. Starts with it's PM are the initials. I'm going for pre-med, but I don't know. But what's the answer?
Probably.
Your early... Oh, it's not... Sorry, I gave you a total bum steer. Your upbringing. So these are just... Okay. The category has to have something to do with up.
Oh.
Yeah, know what I'm
gotcha.
saying?
Okay.
And not to do with
Sorry.
Doc. I was focusing on
Doc.
Doc. I thought they were Doc related. And the
Oh,
skunk
yeah,
one, I
yeah.
thought was, what's up, Doc Bugs Bunny, Pepe Le Pew. That's why I thought it was to do with. Yeah, anyway, that's Julian just going off on tangents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now that I know that, let's do that again. Let's do that a check-in. What's up, Doc? 300.
Well, that's gone. Sorry, I butchered it. I'll do 400 for you. Oh, sorry, there it is.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. 300, okay. Describes an effective pep talk or an effective bra.
Uplift.
Uplifting,
Yeah,
yeah.
good.
That's right, Jane. Francie, you got it.
Okay, what's up, Doc, for 400?
What's up, Doc 400? The 20th letter of the Greek alphabet.
Upsilon?
Upsilon is correct. Francie, you're on a
Oh, that's
tear.
deeply impressive, Francie. Wow.
Okay.
Don't worry, you'll get a
Okay,
chance to
what-
jump in, Lisa.
What's up, Doc, for 500?
In Hollywood, for example, if he's going to a preview, you've already seen it at a private screening. Somebody, like you say, I'm going to a preview of this movie, and then somebody says, well, I've already seen that at a private screening. What are they doing? What are they?
One-upping.
Yes,
There
one-upping.
we go.
A one-upper.
There you
Wasn't there a
go.
Seinfeld episode about the one-upper? No, maybe not. They should have been. Lisa, you're in control. What would you like?
You know what? I'm going to totally switch over and do cooking terms for 100.
Cooking terms for 100: to brush melted butter on the Thanksgiving turkey at regular intervals. Based. Do you guys do Thanksgiving in Canada?
We do. It's
you
just
do?
a different time.
I thought you might not
Yeah,
do it.
crossover.
Yeah, we have different dates.
Different dates.
Yeah,
Okay, we don't
different
do it at all. It's just a normal day. But who cares? Lisa, what would you like?
Let's do cooking terms 200.
Cooking terms for 200. From French to make white, it's to boil food for a short time.
Oh, Blanche.
Blanche
Ah,
is correct, Francie.
nice. For the steal.
Okay, cooking terms for 300.
Cooking terms for 300. Adding hot or tangy seasonings to food. It's Satan's favorite method of cooking ham or eggs. It's a little bit of a devilish term, and eggs or ham.
Oh, deviled.
Deviled.
eggs?
Deviled.
Deviled.
Francie's in there.
Deviled.
Yeah,
Okay, that's a tough one.
yeah, satanic. I was like, oh, come on, it's a bit much, Alex Trebek. Francie, what would you like?
I'll try cooking terms for 400.
Cooking terms for 400. To cook food in liquid just below the boiling point. It's a way to pamper your eggs.
Poach.
Poached, says Lisa. Wow, hang on. Coddle? Now, is that another word for poach? Is that what they say in America?
We
What do
don't
you mean?
really use that word.
Coddle?
Yeah, we don't use coddle. No.
I'm accepting poached because I
Yeah,
reject
I agree.
that coddle is a real term for cooking eggs. Lisa,
I'll do cooking terms 500.
cooking terms for 500. This cooking term means to set alight or burn food with alcohol. It's very
Flambe.
Oh, flambe.
Flambe. Lisa, you got in there. Well done.
All right, let's go back to J words for 400.
J words for 400. Flotsam's friend.
Oh, Jetson.
So close. Just change the end.
Jetson.
Yes,
Jetson.
yes. You got it. You
Jetson.
saved it. Jetsons was a cartoon with that about space people. Francie.
Okay, J words for 500.
J words for 500. To place side by side as an unexpected combination of colours or ideas.
Juxtaposition.
Contrast.
Juxtaposition. And what was your answer, Francie?
Contrast.
Let's have a look. Juxtaposition is correct. Well done, Lisa.
Very nice. Oh, wait, J.
Well, I can't say either one
yeah.
of these categories is a favorite, but let's go with birds.
Birds. Oddity shared by the ostrich, kiwi, and penguin.
100.
Got
Can't
G?
fly.
Lisa, they cannot fly is correct. Well done.
All right. Birds for 200.
Birds for 200. He shares his name and colour with an ecclesiastic. An ecclesiastic, do you know what that means? Like a
Pope?
holy person. I think it means like a priest or something.
Like the Pope?
Yes. He shares his name and color. So, yeah. So what bird would that be?
Prince.
Oh.
It's a bird.
Prince, type of bird. Is there like...
Oh, there's a... What do you
Cardinal.
call that?
Cardinal. That's a good answer. Let's take a look.
Good.
You got it. Well done. And the color
Oh,
too.
nice.
Red, of course. Well done, Lisa.
Birds for 300.
Birds for 300. A baby goose. Also a handsome
Gosling?
actor. Yes.
Gosling,
Well
I think.
done,
Yeah,
Francie.
yeah. Birds for 400.
Birds for 400. The Terry Toons, Heckle and Jekyll, are this type of chattering bird. You would have seen this in reruns when you were a kid.
Is it a crow?
Yes, the crows.
Oh.
I'm wondering if they were like racist. Did they have an accent? you know, like the old Speedy Gonzales and stuff like. You see a few things now and you go, "Oh, that's a bit dicey." Anyway, Francie, what would you like?
Let's do birds for 500.
Birds for 500. Large, non-flying Australian bird the Australian Army waged a war against and lost.
Albatross?
No.
I'm just making that up. I have no idea.
There's a very weird, large Australian bird. And they're kind of like an ostrich. But they're Australian.
Flamingo?
No.
I don't know.
In the United States, you guys pronounce them as emus. We say emus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The army tried to eradicate them because they were damaging the farmlands, and they killed like one bird or something, and then they gave up because they couldn't shoot them. Anyway, continuing on, Francie.
Okay, let's do astrology for 100.
Astrology for 100, the crabby sign of the zodiac.
Oh, Cancer?
Cancer.
Is correct, Francie.
Okay.
200.
Astrology 200.
The symbol for this sign aptly resembles the Roman numeral 2.
I have no idea. I'm just going to say Aries.
I think they might have two. Look, I'm afraid to give.
What's it called? The twins.
Ah.
What's that called? I forget.
Yeah, is it that one or is it? It's either V or G. We'll go with your first one, unless you want to correct it.
I would just whatever the one is called. I forget which one is twins. It's the. I don't know. That's all I can do.
I think it's Gemini, but I'm not sure. Let's take a look.
Oh, Gemini. Yeah, that's the
It
twins.
was Gemini. Okay. Are you still in control, Francie?
Okay, let's do the next one. 300.
Did you say Gemini?
I know. I just said twins. I kept saying twins. I couldn't think what the other word was.
Right.
And I think the twins are the representation of Gemini.
Yeah.
I don't know the word.
And also, anyway. Libra ladies are traditionally lovely because Librans are ruled by this planet, which is the kind of women planet. It's kind of BS, but you know that guy that made that book, Men Are From and Women Are From?
Yeah.
Venus?
I think it is.
Right?
Yeah, Men Are Mars. I think it's Venus. Let's take a look. Yes, Lisa, you got it.
Lisa got it.
I don't recommend the book.
Astrology for 400.
I read it actually.
Astrology for 400. When casting a horoscope, astrologers place this, not the sun, at the center of the solar system.
Moon?
It's got to be, surely. Or could be Earth. Let's take a look. It's Earth, Lisa. Well done. You've been reading the back of the magazines at the supermarket. Last question. 2 of the 3 most important positions of any natal chart. You know, they always say like something's rising, or they have all these terms. I'm not familiar with them.
Oh, sun and the moon.
There's some other word I've heard it used before in movies. I can't remember. Well, anyway, if you say sun or moon, I'm going to give it to you. Let's take a look. Sun, moon, and your rising sign. You got 2 out of 3. Well done, Francie.
Nice.
All right, let's wrap things up there. Francie Jain on 3,200. Lisa on 2,900. So you did very well in the end, Lisa, and you caught up, and it was a close game. Well done.
Fun.
All right, let's turn the music off, and let's pop over to Connecticut. And Francie, you can go first. Tell us a bit about what you're up to. What is the TeraWatt group, and what do you do there?
Yeah, so TeraWatt is a B2B marketplace for executive coaching. We're basically like Airbnb in that we find excellent professional executive coaches and match them to employers who are supporting the professional development of their employees.
You know what? You've just told me something, and whenever somebody tells me what they're doing, and then straight away I go, wow, that's a good idea. I had one of those moments there. So all of the coaches put all their stuff on there, and people looking for coaches pick them out. How else does it work? Does it work from obviously the person is looking for somebody and they type in what they're looking for? Are they looking for online? Are they looking for male, female? How does it work?
Yeah, all that. I mean, typically we start with a problem. And so you can definitely start with a more sort of the attributes of a coach, which might be like, gender and like location or expertise. But
start with the problem.
Had success. Yeah, but we've still had success with diagnosing the problem via surveys of the employees, and then that creates a buy-in among the employee group that they are interested in learning this one area. And then it's really up to the employer and the employees to decide whether it's in person, whether it's virtual, how long it goes. And so basically what we're able to do is like come up with a framework for making group coaching pretty easy, and then also offer the RFP process of kind of,
the logistics of making it happen.
Yeah, like what the employees want, and then like getting bids from all the coaches. So like we might say we've got this group, and they're in Boston and they're 40 people and they're looking for X, Y, and Z. And then all the coaches will come back and say, here's what I recommend, or here's what I've done in the past that's worked. And then the employer can look through all these proposals and pick one. And so we do a lot of logistics of setting it up.
Yeah, that's good because number one, first of all, coaching is awesome, and if you're in business, and it's invaluable for all stages of your business. If you're starting up, or if you're going good but you're kind of stuck, all sorts of reasons. I always say get a coach, but actually appointing one is kind of a PITA, because it's like, you got to get on the right page. You got to meet and find a time and get all that happening, and then you still don't even know what you're doing. But this way, I like this because I like the convenience of it. So the employer, the first thing that happens is the employer is saying, we need to do something. We've got a problem here. Let's go. We go on your website, TeraWatt, and we say, this is what our problem is. And then you guys, do you come up with a questionnaire after that?
Okay, so good question. Right now, we're like very white glove. So typically it's just a bunch, we're doing phone calls and live conversations. One day, eventually we'll kind of have probably like an AI agent, asking these questions. But right now we just set up calls with the buyer. A lot of times the benefit of that is a lot of times the buyer is not the end user. So we like to kind of have a few conversations, because what happens is that the person initially who's buying this thinks the problem might be A, when the employees think it's really B.
Yeah.
And so there's kind of a discovery process too of like, what is the problem? And then we can help diagnose that. But so that's a big, so that's something, that's an insight we've sort of found, which is that like when you're buying on behalf of other people, you think but you don't exactly always know what their perspective is.
And do the buyers usually then have a meeting with the coaches and see who they kind of I was going to say
Yeah.
jive with, but I won't because that was one of our questions.
No, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, so one of the things that we do on the website is that we link to coaches' LinkedIn, to their websites, their podcasts, and we say, like, here's all the proposals, in a little, doc, and just go and do some research and see who you.
So I can just watch a few videos of them. Yeah.
Yeah. And weirdly, people have picked for reasons that you wouldn't expect. And that's why I love a marketplace is everyone just has their own preferences and you kind of let them do what they want. And we don't really have much of a perspective on that. But for instance, one time a coach was picked and I said to the buyer, "Oh, cool. Why did you pick her? I mean, she's wonderful, coach. I just was curious about the process." And the buyer said, "Oh, well, in her podcast, she dropped a bunch of F-bombs, and that's really aligned with our culture. We curse a lot."
That's something I would say, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's risky, but it immediately makes me trust somebody. I don't like anyone that's too polished. Yeah. Well, there you go. You never know, do you? And that's a great idea. And so. Do you do it on the website? And the other question I've got is, so this would be a situation where the user doesn't pay and the coach pays?
Oh, so that's okay. That's a really important part of this. So because it's group coaching, and we're B2B, we're really marketing to employers. And so the benefit for the employee is that it's free to them. It's part of their
Gotcha.
Personal development budget. So the big substitution is that most mid-level employees have a budget to go to a conference, let's say, for professional development.
Right.
And usually stuff we do is lower cost than what it would cost to send an employee to.
I gotcha. So they've already got the budget. They're already expecting to spend money. And so the boss that contacts you okays it, and they have their own, the employees have their own budget that they're allowed to use, and it's usually under that, so it works out great. And is that right so far?
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the tricky parts is everyone's going to skin the cat a little differently.
Yeah.
Because there's a person buying on behalf of other people, it may not be the individual budget, but someone might just say, listen, we can pull that from, it could be part of, the individual budget, or it could be some, for instance, one of the big things we like to talk about is turnover. And there's a relationship between providing professional development for employees and reducing turnover. And so that even could be a budget that comes from the CFO. Because they might just say, I'm so concerned about the money we're spending on replacing employees that I'm happy to allocate some budget to that. So it's not exactly clear where it will come from always, but and that's probably why we start with the problem, because then people try to think about what kind of budget do they have to allocate to solve the problem.
And the huge bonus is for coaches, because it's basically lead generation for them, and they get on there and they're getting deals. People are coming to them, which is always the best way to do it. And then they pay a fee for anything they land to your business. Is that right?
Exactly. The big difference between the other coaching platforms and us is that we are market rate driven. So, and because obviously it's a marketplace, but so we have a 15% take rate. It's the marketplace term for it, but it's a commission. So when we make a match, we keep 15%, the coach gets 85%. And the big thing is that they can just say, it's people who have real businesses, raising their hand saying, I can use more work. Whereas most of the other coaching platforms will pay a very low, flat hourly rate. Might be $30 an hour or $40 an hour, but the average market rate for a good executive coach is $300 an hour. And so it's a big hit if people who have real businesses want to go on those platforms, so they don't. And so we're filling that gap.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I mean, and from the coach's point of view, it's a great deal, because you're going to have to pay to somehow drive your business, and you've got no guarantee. Where this is, you don't pay unless you've got a guaranteed deal. So that sounds great. Do you find that a lot of coaches are thinking it's a great idea once they've signed up?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Like I was just like doing something with reaching out to the coaches, and I realized like we're kind of getting close to 100 coaches, which is cool. And it's all been via referral. We don't really market to coaches, and that was just accidental. But I think it's a really good deal for coaches, and we want good coaches. And so then the coaches who join in like mention it to other people that they know, because they trust us. So, but I have a lot of ambition for this company, and I think it could be like a global thing. But right now, most people are in America. And yeah, I mean, it's the problem that we have, I would say, frankly, is that we just, don't have enough business for all the coaches that want to do it this way.
Yeah.
And so that's like with the marketplace, you're always a little bit trying to match the supply and demand.
But that's where you're in a good spot, because you're not charging the coaches a monthly fee to be a part of it.
Right.
So you're like, well, if it takes me a while, like what's the loss to me? Just fill out a profile and you're good to go. That's a great idea. And is there like a feedback review function in there that good coaches have reviews on your site from clients, etc., like eBay and Amazon?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the fantasy for me is that all the early people will have like 1,000 5-star reviews. We're not there yet, but yes, 100%. And I think there's so much validity to like testimonials, and people really want to see that kind of stuff. So it would be crazy for us not to focus on that.
Yeah, they're going to love that, because if they've got a place that's accumulating reviews, that's just helping them in their own business, selling their business, coaching business to other people. Yeah. Well, that's a great idea. That's TeraWatt. If you want to check that out, if you're a coach primarily, go check that out. Fill out a profile. It's free to use. And if you are a business looking to hire a coach, why don't you jump on there and have a look at what's going on there. It's TeraWatt. Was it CO?
CO, yeah, exactly.
TeraWatt with double T, CO. The URL is in the show notes. Thank you very much, Francie Jain. Wonderful. That was interesting. Let's pop over to Lisa Gibson. Now, Lisa, do you do something with AI as well?
I say as to some extent, yeah.
Yeah, because I saw on your profile something about AI, and originally there was another AI guy, so I thought it would have been good to have you both on, but he's not here. But we've got you, and that's all that matters. And tell us a bit about what you're up to. So you worked with brands, building brands in the corporate world. Is that correct?
Actually, I have about 30 years experience working in communications specifically, and so. The last 9 years of that was with Microsoft, where I actually learned a lot about AI. And so I do, 2 or 3 different things. My business is Ignite Communications. And so I run a communications consultancy, and we help communications spanning right from executive communications, so helping leaders get their brand and build their thought leadership brand out. I also help on the change management side, which is the AI portion of that, which is for organizations that are looking to roll out AI. And like change management is a huge element of that. So communications strategy to kind of bring everyone along. You look like
you must be pretty good if Microsoft gave you a job. They don't hire dummies.
That's hilarious. No, I listen, I feel so lucky. I work with so many incredibly smart people, and currently, Microsoft is actually one of my clients, which is amazing to continue to be able to work with them. So that's been great. So there's that portion. So there's all the communication side. I do a lot of talks about how communicators and marketers can use AI. And I actually just recently wrote a book around building and amplifying your personal brand. And there's a chapter in there about how to use AI to make the whole thing seem a bit less daunting.
Well, what we'll do, Lisa, is let's talk about a problem that a business, and let's talk about a type of business and a type of problem that they may have, and one that you've maybe helped somebody with, and we could go through that so we get an understanding of what it is.
Sure. So let's stick to AI, since we were talking about AI. Obviously, very popular topic right now, and a lot of people are trying to figure out how to adopt it and how to use it properly. But one portion of that is that there's a lot of fear from employees, right, around if AI, is spread across the organization that they're going to lose their job. There's some people that, have been in the workforce a long time. They're not technologically savvy maybe. And so they're really worried, how am I going to get up to speed on the skills that are going to be required when this new technology is rolled out? So Ignite comes in and helps, again, with building a bit of a communication strategy that helps bring the employees along, right? So helps share the strategy of, why is an organization rolling out AI? What's it going to achieve? What's the benefit for employees? We often say that AI isn't, there to replace employees, but it will replace employees that don't embrace and use AI. So it's kind of helping them. It's building out a training program, and just really, making sure that, you're building a culture that helps employees feel like they're still, the number one priority, right? So
Gotcha.
I think that's probably the key.
I understand now. So at times there are big challenges and changes that businesses face that they need to do, but then you've got to be able to communicate that to the employees so that they don't completely spit the dummy or spit the pacifier and turn against you. So that's important, and that's something I hadn't really thought of, is that you need to be able to, it's like an internal PR type thing with the employees, help them come along, provide training for them, and get as many of them on board as you can so that everyone doesn't just, because once you lose your employees and you get that bad culture and it's us and them and all, you don't want any of that. You want everybody in it together. So that's very important. And what types of businesses are mostly the ones in need of this type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, from that specific thing, I think, any business that's looking to roll out AI, quite frankly, or solve any kind of business challenge. I mean, I work with enterprise, large and small, but I think the other area of my business is that I work with a lot of executives on their thought leadership brand. Right. So there's a lot of research that says that now people are more inclined to buy products and services from a company they trust and from a leader they trust. Yeah. And so I build out a strategy to help them build their profile, and therefore, as a result, build their company's profile with their target audience, whoever that is. And again, and with that, I work. Yeah.
So with that, is that usually like the CEO of the company that? Or is it like the head of a department that you work with?
Yeah, it's both, actually. I work with a number of senior executives. I mean, whether or not they're some, like the ones I'm working with right now, they might be like a worldwide lead or head of a department. And I do have a couple CEOs as well. So I think at this stage, really building your thought leadership brand starts at any stage of your career. So I think that's the other thing. People often think, and a lot of them suffer from imposter syndrome. They often think that they don't start building any personal brand until they've reached a certain level. And I would say that's actually not the right way to do it. You should be thinking about it at every stage of your career.
Do you ever deal with the opposite of imposter syndrome, where the person just thinks they're incredible?
It's funny.
And you have to bring them down a bit?
I haven't yet. No, that would be a fun challenge, but I haven't.
Okay. And
I don't need any help.
That's interesting, and the thought leadership thing, that really is huge, and that's a real challenge for a lot of people that are, they're skilled in their profession, but you've almost got to become a public person. Do you find that it's a challenge for some people?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a challenge for a lot of people. I think people are probably mostly comfortable with starting to raise their profile on, say, like a LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But I think it gets really tricky when you start thinking about things like, doing keynotes, doing podcasts like this, standing up in front of large audience, doing media. I think that's where, so a lot of the work that I do is around, training, like doing some media training and doing some presentation coaching, because I think that's the piece where people, there's a lot of nervousness, right? And there's a lot of people that think to themselves like, well, what do I have to say that anyone cares about? And the reality is we all have a unique career journey and a unique story, but I think it's having the confidence to share.
Yeah, so you got to get their story out there, and then people will gravitate to the person. Do they ever say to you, look, do I have time for this? How long is this going to take?
Yes, very often. So there's a couple different models, right? In some cases, I literally kind of own their LinkedIn in partnership with them. I build their content. I mean, they have to review it and approve it, but I build it all to save them time. And I also, teach them how to use AI to help them build content faster and more effectively. So you're absolutely right. I think a lot of people think it's a big time constraint. And I think the reality is if you can bring in someone to help you, or if you can use tools that are available through AI, it actually is not that much of a lift.
Yeah, the AI stuff is it's a huge time saver. But I worked out that you've got to use it to give you a guideline, and not you can't get a finished product out of it.
Totally.
But you can absolutely save a ton of time in time. Like it might take me 2 or 3 days to write something really good. I can get the outline in probably half an hour, and then I write the rest, and I'll get the whole thing done in a day. 50% saving on time easily. You just got to know how to use it. There was one guy I was talking to, talking about AI replacing jobs, and one of the big areas was this guy was a technical writer, so they would write manuals for software and things like that, and I just, that's a real challenge. I mean, because AI could virtually do 90% of that if it understood, but still, you still need some human interaction. So anyway, you just got to learn how to use AI. It's here, and there's always been something that's come along, like the first internet, then internet 2.0. It's going to replace everyone's jobs. It just, everything goes on the same, and everyone learns to adapt. The sky's not falling. Yes. Anyway, that's interesting. And if people want to get in touch with you, how do they do it? Do you have any? Tell us about your book first of all.
Sure. Yeah. So I just published a book. It's available on Amazon, and it's a real easy to follow, step-by-step guide to building and amplifying your personal brand. So it's kind of about being strategic about your personal brand. And there's exercises at the end of every chapter to make.
What's it called?
To make it real. It's called Shine the Spotlight on You.
All right. Now I just typed it, but I've just set off all the sound effects because they're all tied to letters. So just ignore that. Shine the Spotlight on You. All right, I found it. I'm going to bring that up. And that's Lisa Gibson's book. And what's it about? Communications?
It's literally a step-by-step guide to build your thought leadership brand.
Leadership brand. And all the stuff we're talking about.
With exercises and some fun stuff.
There you go. Shine the Spotlight on You, Lisa Gibson. And also you can contact her on her LinkedIn, and her website's in the show notes. Thank you very much, Lisa Gibson and Francie Jain.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank
well
you.
played.
Totally.
And that
What
was
a
very
pleasure.
interesting, and I had fun, and I don't always think that. And thank you very much. And I'll see you next time, everyone. Bye.